Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Positive Living with HIV by Pasi. My name is Pascaline Peter. I'm a Pasi Mama Trevor vile mnanijua kwa hizi streets. And today I have a very special guest, a friend of mine, a person I've worked with, an HIV activist, a HIV advocate. We've been together in this field, talking about stigma, fighting stigma, impacting community lives. And let's introduce ourselves.
My name is Susan Metta. I'm 40 years of age. I'm HIV positive. Been living positive for the last 3 years. Yeah, and I'm a champion and advocate of rights of people living with HIV. Yeah.
All right. Let's hear more about Susan after this short break. Welcome back, guys. Susan was telling her about herself. So Susan, tell us about where you grew up, like how life was before HIV. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for hosting me as well. I grew up in Nakuru. I have studied in Nakuru, both primary and high school, and then I came to Nairobi. So I've been a hotelier by profession, but now retired. So I've been working in and out in South Sudan. So I was dealing with going for short trips of 6 months or a year contracts to South Sudan. So at that place there are a lot of challenges. There are a lot of it's hot. It's a war zone kind of country. So I think because of there's so much pressure and stress that I used to go through there, it started affecting my health. So I remember there's a point I started in the office we use AC. So I started coughing a lot and I thought it was the AC. So I could treat the cough, and then next week I could treat malaria, and then next week I could treat something else, a stomachache, and in between, because of the pressure, you're taking alcohol. So the alcohol is also draining you down. So I remember I came for my leave and I started seeing the weight is now totally gone. And I lost my job in between there. Our company was closed down. So I had more stress actually that was taking toll on me, So I remember towards 2018 December, I literally lost almost 30 kgs in a very short, span of time.
Hapo unajitangaza tu hata kabla wajue.
Nakwambia kuna siku moja niliulizwa, na hizi trousers zako mbona siku hizi hazikutoshi? Unaamka leo kesho unakuta there's a very big vacuum. So come January, I just sat down and I said, this is too much. I can't sit and I don't know what's really eating me up, because at that point I got even back aches. I'd also slightly lost my sight, and then I would have other opportunistic infections, and then the hair was totally getting off. So I started Googling kama kawaida. Tunapenda mwalimu Google before anything.
Huyo anakuambianga tu signs zote zenye unasikia uko nazo,
anakuconfirm. Hata dawa unaweza pewa. So I remember I Googled, so the signs were it's either cancer or HIV.
Ukasema afadhali ukimwi.
Nikasema afadhali ukimwi, because at that point the way I'd lost weight and everything, I was like, let me go to the hospital. If it's something that's redeemable, which is HIV, nitakuwa sawa na nitakunywa dawa. But sasa kama itakuwa cancer, that means I should be ready to die, because clearly treating cancer is very expensive. So that's what psyched me to go to the hospital. I remember it was 14th Jan. I went to the nilienda peke yangu. When I went there, I reached pale kwa triage, nikarudi. Unajua hii si mchezo kujipeleka kutest. Kitu ikaniambia, no, you don't have the energy. So what happened on 15th, the next day, I became totally bedridden. I was very sick. So I realized if I don't go again to the hospital to get to know what is eating me up, then it's going to be a problem. So on 16th now, I called my sisters and I told them, guys, we need to go and test. Watu wanakuanga na denial, it can't be. So they were like, hapana.
Hakuna mtu kwa.
Unless
ile mtu, but
exactly.
Most of the time, hakuna mtu kubali.
Wanakataa. So they were like, huwezi kuwa uko hivyo mgonjwa, aje sasa. And funny enough, tuliingia na my last born sister. And I just told them, I don't want to be cancelled or anything, because I already know what I want. So I just want to do a HIV test, and I did. It became positive. Okay, I'm not that person who reacts like widely when it comes to such issues. So I was just calm, but inside so many things were going through my head. So the doctor thought maybe I've lost it or something. That's why I'm not even saying anything.
Yeah, many people don't react. Maybe some will shout, but there are people who will watareceive hizo news, mtu anyamaze.
Sasa daktari alidhani nikufiatuka, nimefiatuka ndio siongei. He was saying many people who go to test, even those ones umeambiwa na daktari who test, they never like agree to their results. So imagine mimi nikawaambia mimi nataka kuanza kunywa dawa leo. And the reason as to I think I had some little courage about it is because I have been your follower for some time, a silent follower, and other activists. So I was like, if that girl is that beautiful, na hiyo courage anakuanga nayo social media, you know? So I was like, see, even me, I can make it. So at least there was that hope that if I've seen this person, then I can do it as well. So I told them, mimi nataka tu kukunywa dawa. I went home. I didn't go to my place. My sister was advised I might commit suicide, so we went to her place. So I stayed for 2 days. Those are the 2 days I cried a lot. I was like, now, will I either die or my life will change? But after that, I was like, if I stay with them, what happens the time I walk out? I will relapse because nitakuwa nimezoea kuwa dependent on them. Sindio? So nikajiambia, why can't I walk on my own so that it's easier to get used to easily? So nikawambia wakakata, nikamwambia but I have to. So I moved back to my house. I started the journey. Unajuanga tunakuanga na hallucinations.
Unasikianga kwanza kitanda inaenda
ikienda, and you know
side effects, my friend.
Nilikuwa napata hallucination because nilikuwa nakunywa dawa usiku. Naona aliens, literally kwa usingizi naona aliens. Saa zingine unaamka unapata bacterial infections to a point unapata small seizures. I went through all that. And you know, you can't even eat. So I was only eating fruits because I remember when I tested my CD4 was 249. That means ilikuwa imebakisha to those 48 niende full blown AIDS. So I was almost there. So nikajikaza ile unakula ukiendesha nini, nikajikaza mpaka nikaweza sasa kuwa poa na kunywa dawa. Now I started subscribing to all activists that I know. You know, at that point those are your strength. So I started following you na kufollow too.
Someone was telling me ati siku hizi ukitaka kujua mtu ako na ukimwi utapata amefuata activists what, and that is not the case. Unaweza pata maybe someone is just interested in HIV.
Yes.
So they follow me, they follow you. But siku hizi imekuwa hivyo ndio wanapima. Ati ukipata mtu ni mutual friend wa pasi,
ujue yako naye.
Wakiki wakiona mtu ametufollow sisi wote wanajuanga. Hiyo siku hizi wanapima hivyo.
It's ignorance. It's a lot of ignorance, as you said. At times it's all about, I want to know more about, I'm seeing a different person. So. Sile wale watu wa kitambo walikuwa nakaa kukufa. So wanaona, actually, so these people are actually normal, healthy people. So most people wanakuanga tu ni kufuatilia kutaka. But for me, I just thought like you guys were the only people I could hold on to. Because remember at that point I'm single, I'm alone, I'm jobless. So it was only just holding on to you guys. Na ndio hiyo ukimwi imegonga mlango. Hata sitapata mtu sasa.
Utatoa wapi?
That's what went through my, yani so many things zile sasa hakuna mwanaume atanipenda. How will I mingle with people? So I went through all those things until now I became okay. Kuna ile unaenda kwa duka, watu wanaangalia zile za Then I remember a scenario. I went to my salonist. She's this person who's been doing my hair, so she was like concerned my hair was falling off. So Nizila, she's the closest. I'm like, fulani, you know, mi nywele yangu ilianguka. Unajua ni kwa nini? Nikamwambia I tested positive. Oh, she was all over. Oh, pole sana, don't worry, my friend. Jioni ikifika Kitengela mzima ilikuwa inanipigia simu. Some of them mpaka walikuja mpaka kwangu. Wakaniambia hebu shuka, kuna kitu tunasikia. So there were those who were like, no, she can't. Ama it's not right. And then there were those who were wanataka kujua. So when they asked me and I was like, nitaishi hivi aje? How will I walk in Kitengela, walking into a restaurant, alafu you have to look behind your back ujui msee atakuongea aje? So mimi nilichoka by the way. Sasa nikaanzanga tu polepole kuambianga mtu akiniuliza ni hivyo, naambia mimi nakuanga hivyo. Hasa kutakuwa aje? Kutakuwa tu hivyo vile kuko. Kushakuwa sasa ndafanya nini? And remember, I'm all alone like this. My two sisters have no idea about anything about HIV. So they're just there as support, but they know nothing. They're also going through a transition of why her, our sister. So it wasn't easy, but I pressed on until I became strong.
Sasa Kitengela yote imejua uko na ukimwi. People are talking. What next? Sahi hautajificha tena. What next?
So actually, I started from, as I've told you, I started from first mouth to mouth. Like if you come and ask me, I own it. And then after a year, because I had also not told my parents, because I thought if I work hard and go back to where I was, waone Sua kwa sawa, itakuwa easier kushinda wajue news kama niko chini.
Because like telling them now, hivi, hana job, hana nini,
ametest positive. So my mom would be like, mbona siku hizi umekata weight, mbona those things. So sikutaka kuambia, so I avoided them. So on exactly January 16, 2020, I went public about my status, and I felt like I need to own my story. Ndio hii motion ya unakuanga hivyo ukienda mahali you feel uncomfortable. I was like, I need to own my story so that hata hakuna siku mtu atakaa chini aseme fulani anakuanga hivyo, will be like she says, like she talks about it. And then nitaacha kuwa na hiyo fear ya nani anajua, nani ajui, kumeza dawa. Nilikuwa naacha nikupe story, nilikuwa naendanga out saa zingine, naenda kwa choo na meza na maji ya choo. Unaona ile sinki ya choo? Na meza maji, na hiyo ndio tu watu wasinione mali tumekaa. Maybe you are eating or do something, wasione na kunywa dawa. So I reached a point and I was like, this is just too much. So I just went public, and me going public helped me, free myself from that self-stigma, because that was like self-stigma.
All right. Let's take a small break. When you come back, we'll get to hear Susan's story after going public. Welcome back, guys. Those have just joined us. Today I'm hosting Susan Metta. She has taken us through her story. So Susan, sasa umeenda public, umeamka, like mi nakumbukanga hiyo siku nilienda public, post yangu ilisheiwa kwa group zote za ushago, za home. How was your experience?
So vile nilienda public, calls. And those people first don't call you. They call the people around you, like your family. So my family, my sisters and my parents, they were not first ready to answer to such things. So I told them, if you reach such a point, don't literally answer about it. So I remember I was in a group, a welfare group. I went and told them, guys, I need your support. I've tested positive. Ninakumbuka tulikuwa town. Unajonga ile yenye mnakaa chini kila mtu ananyamaza, but kwa kona za macho ziko zile za huyu naye ameitoa wapi?
Lakini hata wewe
alikuwa na
nguvu ya kuambia watu wa WhatsApp group.
Those were people who were very tumesoma nao.
Oh, people you trusted.
Yes, I trusted them, Kidogo kidogo nikaona ni night shows kidogo nikatolewa. Inaitwa nini? Nilikuwa signatory kwa account. Nikatolewa. Haya, kama kuna friends,
uliambiwa mbona unatolewa?
By this zilikuwa tu side shows chini ya maji tu. Unakuta kama ni friends, watu walikuwa tu wanajitoa. Unaona tu watu wanajitoa tu, wanakunyamazia. Mwingine unamwambia, unafikiria atakupea support, then una realize they've just gone quiet on you. Kuna mpaka mwingine aliniuliza, kumeenda, imagine a whole grown up, mama mzima tu, kunipigia, kunichekelea, kuniuliza, yani umeipata kitu, ni ex wako ama ni nani? Ndiyo. Mama mzazi, mtu wako na watoto teenagers.
Okay, ni nani ndio?
Exactly. So in my mpaka yani hata nilishindwa kumjibu. Nimwambia, I can't even answer you some questions. This is somebody who has never called you. But they got, I didn't know your number from where, and they literally called you, because by then my number was not public. So I got those calls. Nile mnaenda out, unaona fulani anaambiwa sikae na wewe, because unajua watu wako na ile notion ya HIV ni ya watu wenye wameenda kuprostitute ndio wakapata, which is very wrong. It can get you anywhere, HIV hata inaweza kupata through a blood transfusion. A scenario whereby, let's say umetestiwa sahi, uko negative na unaenda kupatia mtu blood, but for the last like a week or so you have engaged yourself, there is that window period. What happens? You'll test negative, right? Watawaijua ni ulitoa wapi? So can you judge that kind of a person? There are people who are married na inawapata kwa nyumba. There are people who are born with HIV. So the society needs to stop making HIV look like it's for prostitutes. or it's such a shameful thing. It is just a condition, a very manageable condition like any other. So the scenarios pia unakuta watu walikuwa wanakukatia wanakuendea mute. Huko umeingia box. Basi sasa ni kama umeona ni kuenda unaenda sasa. Mpaka kuna mwenye aliniuliza na hii kitu ulipata lini?
Ndio aweze kupimanisha.
Exactly. Kama kuna you know. So yes, I went through a lot of stigma, but not from immediate family, but from friends. But through the same thing, I came to gain new friends that I didn't have, who are friends up to today. They've been my support system, and I also had friends who walked with me, a few of them up to today. So stigma is there, stigma is real. I went through a lot of stigma, but I thank God that I overcame stigma.
Wow. HIV and dating, tumesema in most cases watu unapatanga mtu anasema the moment you turn positive, unless upate positive mwenzako ama me, I believe out here kuna there are good people.
Yes,
there are good men out. Yeah. I believe. Kuna ule mwenye utadisclose aende, and I tell them kiona ameenda
hakuwa wako.
Hakuwa wako. How has your situation been like HIV and that? Ushaileftiwa je story ama like, or in a situation unapata msee, maybe msee ni negative, wengine wanaonanga ni kama anakufanyia favor being with you, like how was HIV and dating then? So
first I tell people whether negative or positive, the dating whatever rules are just the same. But the problem with when you're now positive, there is that like stigma or segregation that comes in. So like unakuta msee amekulike ile siku unamwambia kuko hivi anaenda mute ama akozeleza wow I didn't know you sick.
Kitu I don't understand. Umekuja kwa inbox yangu Facebook.
Exactly.
That means you should have checked the profile of the person.
Exactly.
You're going to chat.
Exactly.
But sielewangu in most cases mtu anakuja anaanza. So this HIV bit ilimpita. Maybe alipata maybe your profile from a friend. Like sijui kama watu ni wavivu kusoma. I always understand hii bio tunakwanga tumeweka hapo, we put about ourselves, what we do. So wewe uliruka hiyo bio ukakimbia inbox ukakuja kusimamishwa na stopa ya niko na ukimwi. You know?
What happens in such scenarios is, especially with men, mtu anakuwa captured by the face. When you're captured by the face, you don't see anything else. You want to go directly to the inbox.
Umeona rangi ya tao.
Exactly. Sasa ukiambia huyo mtu uko positive, anashtuka ile yake karibu akufe. I keep on telling them mimi nimechoka kuresuscitate watu. Sina ambulance kwa inbox yangu, because the moment you tell them like that, guys are like, "Oh my god. Like, are you sick?" I'm like, "Who told you I'm sick? I have a condition that's very manageable. I'm not sick." So unakuta machali huwa wanakulenga tu. Na kuna wengine wanakuona wanabaki kwa friends. They want to learn about like somebody like you. And this is where I tell people, actually, first, if you're positive and you think you want to align yourself with a positive partner, usiangalie just because we are positive we should date. It doesn't mean because you're of the same status we are actually compatible.
That's something I tell them.
Yes.
Simply because you're HIV positive doesn't mean we are compatible.
We are not totally. Okay. So please first understand you need a mentally stable person. Mtu amejikubali, mtu anakunywa dawa yake vizuri na hana makasiriko. Because the moment huyo mtu atakuja na makasiriko zake, hata kama ulikuwa umekunywa dawa na uko poa, atakurudisha.
Unajua vile hizi dawa vile wose mazio kuja na makasiriko. Imagine umeongeza
itakupeleka chini
za bwana
very fast. So first I tell people, just because you're compatible, I mean we are of the same status, we are not compatible. Number two, it's very very okay to date somebody who is negative. It is just because they're still doing a lot of sensitization on something called you to you, which is undetectable is equals to untransmittable. How do you become undetectable? By adhering to your medication. Kunywa dawa vile uvipasavyo na masaa yenye umewekewa. Like for example, I take them at 9 in the morning, and that's how I take them. I have the alarm on my phone which tells me 2 minutes prior. So people need to adhere. When you adhere, your viral load goes to 0, it becomes undetectable. When it's undetectable, then you cannot transmit the virus because it's dormant. So it's not even multiplying, so you cannot actually transmit it. So So people need to understand first is undetectable is equals to untransmittable, but that's not a leeway of going around now thinking you can sleep around with people, because you could go also and pick another strain unknowingly because you didn't test this other person. Unajua kuna watu wako negative na wajui wako positive.
Kupima na macho nayo unajua tunapenda.
Mtu anasemanga mimi niko sawa na maybe aliokota mahali na hajui. So you can actually be thinking uko free na unaenda ukiambukizwa. Or we have pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis. That is PrEP and PEP. The PrEP one is mostly used by discordant people. You know the discordants are people, one is positive, one is negative. So hizo ni dawa zenye zinazuia makali ya ukimwi, so mtu haizi shikwa nayo. We have PEP on scenarios whereby you think you're exposed. So mostly on the discordant couples.
PrEP ni kama P2 za ukimwi.
Exactly.
72 hours after exposure.
Exactly. So watu wengi sana when it comes to dating somebody who is negative, I think what you should arm yourself with is PrEP. Because it protects you from, getting, just in case the other person, the load is not low, then they are not going to infect you. So personally, I don't choose. I can date just anyone. As long as that person, if that person is negative, they understand what it entails, they are ready to go with me for counseling. Unajua, nikupe story. I once tried to date someone, though we never dated. So this person was like, how do I go about with you? So I told the person we need to go for counseling. He was scared. So he told me he'll go to a hospital. Hii mambo ya manasi za wajuangi hata kuongelesha watu. Aliambiwa hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Huyu atakuambukiza hata usijaribu. And the guy went mute. But I was happy that he had an opportunity by himself. Because there are people who think we are telling them so that we can protect ourselves. But it's good to equip ourselves with the right knowledge and then just date anyone that you want. If it's somebody is ako positive, pia akuwe sawa vile nimejiangalia. Ndio tupelekane.
Okay. Aya. Now that tumesikia story ya Susan, let's take a short break. When you come back, atuambie kama ako na mtu and how life is mali yuko sasa. Welcome back, guys. So tumesema tunataka kujua kama Susan ako na mtu, what she's doing now, like after all that. Tumesikiza story yake, the ups and downs. So Susan, what are you doing now? Uko na morio?
Wow, I would say I'm very single. Very single.
Mmesikia?
Yeah, because self-love na self-acceptance ni paramount, so that you just don't date because you think you're lonely, or you don't just date because you think you want to be somewhere. Like you need somebody who compliments you. So for me, hata kama niko na hiyo miaka bado najua I will get someone who fits me. It doesn't matter atakuwa ametoka wapi, but as long as it's somebody that who can compliment me and I can compliment him. Yeah, so right now I'm an advocate who deals with matters pertaining people living with HIV. Like I normally take people who are afraid to test to the facilities and they test, or people who have not accepted to start their medication. I enroll them for counseling and the medication. I also talk to people who've you've turned positive and you think I'm gonna die, I'm gonna commit suicide, because you're scared of what people outside there will think. So normally I deal with such people. They normally come to my accounts or my email address, or they WhatsApp me, and we talk about it through my social media pages. But at the same time, we have an organization, Advocates of Hope for Community. It deals with rights of people dealing with HIV and the same things that we are doing. So that for me, that is the core thing that I'm in support right now, because it is something that has to do with activists or advocates who came in together for a common goal, which is helping people like us, inspiring people like us, because at times we are forgotten because we don't have anybody for us. But I think the moment we came up with that, it was a good initiative, so that we can even kule mashinani, ule mwenye hana sauti na anaishi kama sisi atakuwa na sauti through us, or a support system. So that's what I do. I'm also a business person. I deal with beauty and cosmetics. Sasa kama watu wanataka kuslay here, they can reach out. Yes. So maybe I should say my social media handles, social media which is wairimu Nyarasembo. That is Facebook, wairimu Nyarasembo. My YouTube right now is a bit ish, but I will, later. And then I have my Gmail is metasusan@gmail.com. With Meta is a METTA. Also, sometimes only WhatsApp, stacky calls. Unajua people, when you give them your number at times, they think they have a leeway to...
Be on your WhatsApp.
Yes, WhatsApp only 0722 250 644. 0722 250 644. This is only matters pertaining with people living with HIV, because that's what I stand for right now. And I also want to tell people, the moment you turn positive, kindly don't think it's the end of the world. HIV is the most manageable thing because you have free meds. Imagine si tuko na dawa za bure. Si kama watu wa, high blood pressure ama diabetes they have to buy. For us, it's free. So kindly, the moment you test positive, accept yourself. Understand you need to love yourself enough. Surround yourself with a support system. Don't be around toxic people. Take your medication. Athea. Eat well, eat the right diet, And then I also want to tell people, hii kupima na macho, ni tabia watu wamezoea sana. Even right now, I'll go to a place, uambie mtu uko hivyo na akwambie uwezi kuwa hivyo. Uwezi naona hivyo. Kwani ukimwi ukaaje? Uwezi kuwa you're glowing and you're fat, like how? It is because we have accepted our situation and adapted to it. So people need to test. Pasi people are not testing. Watu wanakulana tu uko fry juu wanaona wako sawa. But guys need to stop being ignorant. We don't need more infections. The other pandemic issues that people need to work on, not HIV, So people need to test or condomize. Jipangeni. Alafu ukipatikana hata huko nje na unajua 72 hours zijaisha, kimbia to any facility. Upewe pep. Ama hata uongee na any activist that Get pep. It will help you. If you feel you're dating someone and you need to date that person who's of the opposite status, just go to the facility. Get to learn what it entails. Na tukiishi hivyo tutaishi siku nyingi sana. Na bado tutaendelea kusaidia watu. Na kuslay. Si ndio? Because imagine me usemanga HIV is the most easiest thing. The most easiest thing, it's just in the mind. It's nowhere else. But the HIV, the main control point, it is your mind. Because ukijiambia naogopa watu watanichukia, hiyo kitu inaring kwa mind yako, so hautai progress. Unaona, but ukijikubali unaendelea, na pia don't sleep around. Take care of yourself. There are other new infections which can make your medication fail. Na watu wakunywe dawa. So I think that's what I should tell people, and not to give up. It's not the end.
Wow. I hope you've learned something, 1 or 2 or 3 things from Susan. Thank you so much, Susan, for kuitika wito.
Asante, nimeshukuru.
Thank you for coming to this channel. And I believe mmepata 1 or 2 things. There is life after a positive test. You can date anyone, either negative or positive. When you're positive, you can live a normal life. What I tell you people, get tested, jijue, accept yourself, jikubali, love yourself, jipende, and let's say no to new HIV infections. Let's focus to a stigma-free society. That's all we had for today in our today's channel. Thank you so much. For those who have not subscribed, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share to friends and family. Yeah, goodbye. See you next time, the next video.